Welcome back to G1 Toys, the channel that is rare in itself. You may have noticed a slew of games in these limited run releases are not rated by ESRB. That trend is coming to an end shortly in the latest news from the company. I am torn on my opinion that every game needs to be rated, and I would rather see rarity remain unique, but a side of me likes to discuss the content within these titles also. With the next rollout on October 13th of numbers 85 and 86, we will see this on every new title into the future. This may drive the prices up on titles previous to this change, so make sure you stock up as best you can now on a piece of history that was untouched by ESRB hands. Now sit back and enjoy the next 10 limited games on your PS4 console. Number 17, Shadow Complex. Since we missed one in our last review of the odd variety, we bring to you Shadow Complex, which could easily be mistaken for having Little Man Complex. Cherry Entertainment brings back a classic feel to gaming unseen for around 12 years. This bounce back to the early 2000s can be referred to as a progressive restoration in gaming, no pun intended. It's exploratory and action-packed enough to put Uncharted's Drake into the doghouse. While you move through a 3D environment as you side-scroll through the levels, it feels very interactive within these confines and doesn't limit your actions. I think what is most gratifying about taking out legions of troops is watching the motionless bodies fly across the screen like crash test dummies. Don't let this action title get away. Number 22, Thomas Was Alone. This game puts a face to a shape and parallels parallelograms, the first of its kind to introduce a story for friends of all shapes and sizes. A very intriguing 100-level platforming game which uses teamwork and mild to moderate puzzle solving. This is what would happen if Pong developed sentience and went on a side-scrolling puzzle-solving hoopla. I think what the game does best is convey emotion through its soundtrack, and it actually makes you feel for these quadrilateral lives. This, along with the narrative which rivals Little Big Planet, is what makes this a playable and approachable title that will live on in a world of otherwise inanimate blocks and bytes. Number 24, Shantae Risky's Revenge. Nintendo DSi needed a ported game to the PS4, right? Come on, I'm trying to justify why they chose to make this a limited run game, for the sake of popularity, I imagine. They brought us a title that even I Dream of Jeannie couldn't take seriously. Don't get me wrong, there are a few titles in the franchise I do like, but this one is my least favorite. I think where my problem lies with this game is a lack of enhancement. It really feels like I'm playing a DSi game. Feed me caviar with a golden spoon, I say. Don't break out the plastic and try to impress me with Gerber squash, which is what it felt like I had here. The game has some upbeat tunes and dialogue, but not the Shantae Bordeaux I crave. Number 25, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Okay, we're back to some sweet pirate booty again. A definite improvement all around. It's the perfect mix of 8-bit and modern. It's not graphically perfect, but almost didn't need to be this time around. It's a sequel to Risky's Revenge and strips Shantae, ooh, there's a visual, of her powers. It's a fluid answer to platformers, but pixelated enough for the classic game swarmers. It's not minus its annoyances, but worth its weight in booty for a playthrough. This one really rubbed my lamp. Only a genie didn't pop out. Number 26, Stealth Inc. A puzzle platformer that will mash you up like mom's old-fashioned potatoes, add ketchup of course. You are a freedom-seeking clone that must outsmart the trap setters in a warehouse from hell. Laser turrets, sentry bots, sliding doors and floors, spinning spikes and levels that mock you are just a bit of the few stress inducers you'll find here. Sticking to the shadows has helped me traverse a multitude of trials in my life, and it's a model to play by here. You'd think by now I'd be a pro at level sweeping these puzzlers, but I died a lot in this one, which I think is par for the course. It's called Experimenting Through Death, but also fun through thought if you can see the bright side of things. Number 30, Lone Survivor. What this game lacks in the graphics department, it makes up for in printed narration and an overall eerily based gameplay. At times, it almost reminds me of the original Splatterhouse, minus the continuous gore. Although short, it's fulfilling by story. It does a good job at making you feel alone, sometimes with just your thoughts. Annoyingly enough, the map system is the worst part of this 3.5-hour experience by far. Otherwise, a solid title for a frail protagonist. Number 32, Firewatch. New job, sweet gear, what could go wrong? Only that you're in charge of keeping billions of dollars of forestry land safe, ergo, Firewatch. It's hard to explain the atmosphere here. It's like a cross between Half-Life and Borderlands for scenery, but it pulls off the blend nicely. Character building, narrative driven, and moments of suspense will be what you get for your investment, as is any one of these games with their smaller print runs. I must say, I'm not a huge fan of this one, and neither is your player Henry. Fans tend to cause the spread of fire. In any case, the development really could have led into something blazing, but fizzled out before you could say fire. Number 34, Curses and Chaos. This was initially a free title to anyone on PlayStation Plus who thought free meant cool. Hey, I always wanted a game I could shake my moneymaker with and actually make money, so yeah, why not? This must have been an entrepreneurial developer that loved Ghosts and Goblins but hated the value of a well-crafted game. There are even titles within the confines of Limited Run that fail, and this is one of those titles. I guess trying to be funny wasn't enough to hold this game to anything other than what its title implies. Number 36, Aqua Kitty DX. I don't know why, but this game reminds me of a PopCap title in the sense that it's repetitive and a bit quirky. Of course, if you want this title to play only, you have the Steam option, but if you're a purist pussy cat, you'll want to get physical like Olivia Newton-John and own this installment. Now, I'm all for side-to-side shooters, but this feels a little monotonous. Am I reduced to saying something profound about this game solely based on its rarity? Okay, if the answer is yes, I will say the game makes good use of its Defender-style Resogun copycatting, but if you like those types of games, then you really need to play Resogun because it kicks this one's alley trash. What is the point here, really? It seems like I'm working against the grain here, trying to keep pussies dry. Number 37, Oxenfree. Ollie Ollie Oxenfree! I used to play that in grade school. Oh boy, that really dates me. Let's just stick to the review, shall we? If the Sims broke free from their world and got to go ghost hunting in their hometown with the backing of some minor Telltale influence, we would have Oxenfree in a nutshell. It's also a short play, but executed well enough to hold you until the end. For the price of the physical copy, however, I feel this lacks the girth needed to survive under its own weight. That brings this one down to a buy only to complete one's collection. Choices, choices. There are no shortages of those here, in-game and out of game. Thanks for joining us once again in our reviewing mission video to cover every limited run title. There are more to come, so hit that subscribe button without delay. Also, if you like our reviews, show some like love down below. This company has a bright future in gaming and won't soon be forgotten, so exercise your free will to collect. Let us give you some insight of some of the rarest titles around. From G1 Toys, this is Tim saying Ollie Ollie Oxen, freedom.